Yes, good morning, students. In earlier class, we discussed about the rating of the distribution substation. In this regards, square-shaped area, that is substation feeding 4 feeders, and hexagonal-shaped area, that is substation feeding 6 feeders, and the same discussion extended for the substation served up to n number of primary feeders. So now this is the time to compare the 4 feeder and 6 feeder patterns. Otherwise, the comparisons between square shape as well as hexagonal shaped feeder patterns. So in this regards, whatever may be the equations which are derived in earlier case, which are helpful for us. So those equations are directly taken as a reference for the comparisons. So let us consider first the square shaped area. Yes. So square shaped area in the sense the substation serves the 4 number of feeders. So that is the reason the total space 360 degree space is divided into 4 equal parts and each equal part having a 90 degrees. So that the feeder is served in center of the 90 degrees, so that the angle is 45 degrees. So for square shaped area served by 4 primary feeders, that is n is equal to 4, the area served by one of the 4 feeder is A4 is equal to L4 square mile square. This is the area already we calculated in case of the square shaped area, and that is for one feeder only. That is for only one area we are calculated. These are no students. So for having a total area, what can you do in the sense that should be multiplied with 4 so that we can have a total area of the square shaped area. Is the total area served by all 4 feeders, TA4 is equal to 4 into A4, 4 into A4, that is 4 into L4 square mile square. So this is the total area served by all 4 feeders. Similarly, the KVA load served by one of the 4 feeders is also calculated, which is the S4 is equal to D into L4 KVA. So now we can calculate the total KVA load served by all 4 feeders. That should be calculated, that should be simply multiplied with 4. We can have the total load of the all 4 feeders is TS4, which is equal to 4 times of S4, that is the D into L4 square KVA. Therefore, the voltage drop in the main feeder is 2/3 of L4 cube in K into D. Then the load current in the main feeder at any point A is, it is the I4, which can be calculated by the one feeder. We are taking just the load current in the main feeder at a point A is, so this can be calculated load by voltage. So load in terms of KVA by V, we will have a current magnitude. I4 is equal to S4 divided by √3 into line to line. So this is the generalized formula for the current magnitude, but S4 having D into L4 square KVA. So this can be also written as I4 is equal to D into L4 square divided by √3V line to line. So this is the equation number 1. So the basic equations already derived is to be taken. Those equations should be multiplied with 4 so that the total square shaped area has to be covered here. Yes. So from the voltage drop equation and load equations, the current magnitude of a square shaped area is also calculated. And the same discussion for hexagonal shaped area is also considered into account. Yes. So on the other hand, hexagonally shaped service area served by 6 feeders is, so that is n is equal to 6 here. The area served by one of the 6 feeder is A6 is equal to 1 by root 3 into L6 square miles square. So the total area served by all 6 feeders, just simply one feeder already you are having, that should be multiplied with 6 times 6 by root 3 into L6 square mile square. And similarly, the load, KVA load served by one of the 6 feeders S6 is equal to 1 by root 3 D into L6 square KVA. That should be multiplied with 6, so that the total all 6 feeders has to be calculated here. Yes. So why we are doing like this, in the sense there are 2 comparisons in the 6 and 4 feeders pattern. So that we'll discuss later. Yes. So 6 by root 3 into D into L6 square KVA. So therefore, the percentage voltage drop in the main feeder is, percentage voltage drop of a one feeder out of 6 feeders main is equal to 2 by 3 into root 3 L6 keep K into D. Yes. So now, similar to the earlier, you can calculate the load current in the main feeder at a point A is I6 is equal to the load by voltage. So it can be also written as I6 is equal to D into, so root 3 cancel here, D into, root 1, both are in denominator. So 1 root 3 into root 3, 3. D into L6 square divided by 3 into V line to line. So students, one more point also you have to be considered. So this can be, this slash can be, slash in previous all cases also you can consider slash has to be the divided by. Yes. So you can always, such type of functions are arise, you can write numerator and denominator format. So this is the equation. Equation number 1 belongs to the square shaped area and equation number 2 belongs to the hexagonal shaped area. Yes, both are currents. So now let us go for the actual comparison of square shaped as well as the hexagonal shaped area. Yes, the relationship between the service area of the 4 and 6 feeder patterns can be found under 2 assumptions. The assumptions number 1, feeder circuits are thermally limited. This is the assumption number 1 by which to compare the 4 and 6 feeder patterns. And assumption number 2 is the feeder circuits are voltage drop limited. Voltage drop limited. So by using these 2 assumptions, we are comparing the 4 feeder as well as the 6 feeder pattern. Let us see the first one, feeder circuits are thermally limited. So what do you mean by the feeder circuits are thermally limited? In the sense, their current carrying capacities are same. Thermally limited means their current carrying capacity is same, in the sense I4 is equal to I6. For a given conductor size and neglected voltage drop, I4 is equal to I6. This is the equation number 3. So equation number 2 is square shaped area. Equation number 1 is square shaped area. Equation number 2 is hexagonal shaped area, and equation number 3 is equating those 2. So substitute equation 1 and equation 2 in equation 3, which is equal to D into L4 square by root 3 V line to line is equal to D into L6 square by 3 into V line to. So students, while writing such type of equations, you should write in the form of numerator and denominator so that it is easily understandable. Yes. So are you getting my point, all of you? And so equating these 2 and simplifying, the dd will be cancelled. So else there is a simplification here. L6 by L4 whole square is equal to root 3. This is the equation you are getting after simplifying this one. And similarly, also dividing total area served by 4 and 6 feeder patterns. So the TA6 by TA4 is equal to, so the TA4 already you are having, TA6 already you are having, TA6 is equal to 6 by root 3 into L6 square divided by 4 into L4 square. This is the total areas. Yes. So you can simplify this one. This belongs to root 3 by 2 into L6 by L4 whole square. Already in equation number 4, L6 by L4 whole square is equal to root 3. Substitute in this. So from equation 4, L6 by L4 whole square is equal to root 3. So TA6 by TA4 is equal to root 3 by 2 into root 3. That is equal to 3 by 2. It is the 1.5. This is the equation number 5. So therefore, TA6 is equal to 1.5 times of TA4. So from this, what we concluded in the sense, when feeder circuits are thermally limited, the 6 feeders can carry 1.5 times much load as the 4 feeders if they are thermally limited. So this is the comparison one. First, we are making all these square shaped equations and then hexagonal shaped equations. Then those two are compared with the help of the two assumptions. One is the feeder circuits are thermally limited. Another one is feeder circuits are voltage drop limited. So therefore, the first one, case one is feeder circuits are thermally limited. Thermally limited in the sense the current carrying capacity is same. So therefore, equating I4 as well as I6. So finally, in comparison, the TA6 is equal to 1.5 times of TA4. Therefore, the 6 feeders pattern, 6 feeders can carry 1.5 times as much load as the 4 feeders if they are thermally limited. So another comparison, which is the feeder circuits are voltage drop limited. For voltage drop limited feeder circuits are considered here. For a given conductor size and equal percentage voltage drop, the percentage voltage drop of a 4 feeder is equal to percentage voltage drop of a 6 feeders. So substituting the voltage drop equations, 2 by 3 L4 cube into K into D is equal to 2 by 3 root 3 into L6 cube into K into D. So many parameters are cancelled here, and we are having a L4 have an LU of L6 in terms of L6. So therefore, L4 is equal to 0.803 L6. This is the equation number 1. Is the total area served by all 6 feeders is TA6 is equal to 6 by root 3 into L6 square. So here we are having the total area served by all 4 feeders TA4 is equal to 4 into L4 square. So you can substitute one in another by, which is equal to 4 into L4 having already an LU in equation number 1, which is the 0.803 L6. So substitute in the TA4, TA4 is equal to 4 into 0.803 whole square into L6 square. This is the equation. Again, you can take the ratio of the total areas, dividing equation 2 by equation 3, TA6 by TA4, which is having an LU of pi by 4. TA6 is equal to 1.25 times of TA4. Is in earlier case, and they are all thermally limited. TA6 is equal to 1.5 times of TA4, whereas voltage drops are limited in the sense TA6 is equal to 1.25 times of TA4. So therefore, the 6 feeders can carry 1.25 times as much load as the 4 feeders if they are voltage drop limited. So therefore, once formulating equations for square shaped area and hexagonal shaped area and comparing the square shaped and hexagonal shaped with the two assumptions, one is they are thermally limited, that is the assumption number 1. They are voltage drop limited, so that is the assumption number 2. In both areas, TA6 is equal to 1.5 times in thermally limited, 1.25 times in voltage drop Limited. So these are the comparisons between the 4 feeder as well as 6 feeder patterns. Is so if this comparison is over, then the next one is the next topic. Simply it is a very important topic asked for regularly in BBITS. Benefits derived through the optimal location of substation. So what are the at beginning of this unit we discussed about the how the substation is to be located. There are so many points we discussed, but here also simply we summarize this topic: benefits derived through the optimal location of substations. So see here the point number 1. Optimal location of substation is necessary to reduce the cost and service interruptions. So here the topic is benefits derived through the optimal location of substation. It means that when the substation is located optimally, so what are the advantages? Benefits in the sense simply says that it is a benefits. Benefits are advantages. Yes. So if we locate the substation in optimum place, so it reduces the cost as well as service interruptions. So students, my request for you is you keep the side heading as a reduced cost, otherwise reduced service interruptions like this, and you can give your description about the how the service interruptions has to be reduced like this. So I am giving a hint for you. So based upon this, you keep it as a side headings and explain your own way. And second point, design of substation becomes simple and feasible. So that means that the cost point of view is very less, and it is very simple, and it is very feasible also. Yes. Next, the substation is very close to the load centers of its service area. So the accessing per consumers is very good. Suppose substation is very close to the service area, the accessing between consumers and substation is in a good manner, so that any interruptions are taking place, any works are there, everything is to be clearly clarified because of stop is available at any time. And next one, capital cost is low, voltage regulation is improved. So the distance between substation and service area is very small. Therefore, the voltage drops are reduced. Voltage drops are reduced in the sense, obviously, the voltage regulation improved. Yes. And the product of kVA and the distance is minimum. So as the distance reduces, the maximum amount of the power has to be transferred to the consumers directly. And similarly, when future loads and future expansions are possible, so once the substation is located optimum place, so expansions are possible, expansion of loads are possible, everything is in favor to the consumers as well as utility. And this one is the next point. The number of customers affected by service outage is less due to possibility of alternate supply arrangements. So see the benefits or advantages when the substation is located in an optimal place. And the cost of the feeders and the power losses are reduced. As the distance reduces, everything is benefited. So in the point of power losses and in the point of cost of feeders, distance minimizes, distance reduces, the cost of the transmission lines, the cost of the construction, the cost of the poles, everything is reduced. And similarly, time required for erection of substation is reduced. Yes. So due to lesser distances, the substation can be easily established very fast. And the efficiency of the distribution substation is more when it is placed near to the load center. So see, in all aspects point of view, or all the points point of view, you can observe all points are in favor in a positive mode. Advantage is because of the substation and load center is very close, so that it is accessing for either consumers as well as the utility. Maintenance is easier. Maintenance is easier when faults are arises because the switching devices are located in distribution substation. Yes. So you see here, these are the so many benefits or advantages when the substation is located optimal place. Yes. So students, one of my request for you is, for example, the point number 4 you can observe here, the point number 4, capital cost is low, voltage regulation is improved. So you can keep a point like one. Benefits, for example, the topic benefits derived through optimal location is the side heating. And you can keep the first point, improved voltage regulation. So you keep the side heating as a improved voltage regulation, and you have to write your own way. So as the distance reduces, the voltage drop is also reduces. Why? Because resistance is a function of length. So distance reduces in the sense resistance reduces in the sense drop reduces in the sense the voltage regulation improved. Voltage regulation is what here? It is the voltage difference from the sending end to the receiving end. As the voltage, as the distance between the sending end and receiving end is less, the voltage regulation is good. So like that, you keep 1.1, you take, there are number of points are there in this list. So you take one by one as a point. First point number 1, voltage regulation is improved. This due to the optimal location of substation. What are the advantages? This seems to be advantages or benefits. Yes. So voltage regulation is improved as a side heating, and you can write your own way. Similarly, future loads and future expansions are possible. So like that, you keep 1 by power losses are reduced. Yes. So substation erection time is reduced. Like that, you keep 1 by 1 as a side heading and write your own way, so that the student is to be more benefited than writing in this fashion. Yes. So thank you. So with this, we will stop today's class.